Hello, friends, and welcome to Believe in the Dallas Cowboys. We got a new defensive coordinator. We got some stuff that Tank Lawrence said. We're cranking up the quality of the broadcast by me actually doing stuff. We'll hear what Tank said just in case you haven't. We'll talk about that. I'm Jeff Cavanaugh. That's Jesse Holley, former Cowboys wide receiver and a badass human.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
And we're us. We're brought to you by our friends at BetOnline out there in Vegas right now for the championship. Our partner BetOnline, your number one source for football odds, stats, trends, and lines with everything from point spreads, hundreds of bets, everything, coin toss, color, Gatorade, whatever. BetOnline is your number one source for your championship wagering. Head to BetOnline, join the action. Join today to get into all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here. Hi, Jesse.
What's up, bro? Heads or tails? Are you talking about coin flip? Are you a one coin flip guy? Like, do you switch it up?
I never change.
What's that? What's your call?
Tails never fails. I did it just for fun on the air yesterday. Maybe the day before, because I was talking about that. I was like, we're all like, the craziest thing to bet on ever is the coin flip. You know why? Because in betting, the way it works is like it's an even bet. So like what you have to bet is either 110 or 120 to win $100. So you're getting worse than 50% odds on a literal 50% proposition. It's not wise, but just for fun, I was like, I'm a tails guy. Anybody want a piece of me? And we had a penny and a dime in studio. So I was like, Julie, you want some of this? And she was like, sure. And so I flipped it. I caught it. And I said, do you want me to flip or just pull? And she was like, flip. I was like, tails. Mike, you want some of this? Grab the other coin. Flipped, caught it. I said, you want me to flip it or not? He said, flip it. I said, pow, tails. And I said, and we're done. I'll never do it again. 2-0.
Yeah, I'm a head guy. When it comes to the coin.
Heads. You choose heads.
Heads.
On a coin flip, you choose heads.
Yes.
Leave in the comments on the YouTube page, youtube.com/Jeff Cavanaugh, heads or tails.
Yeah.
Leave that. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Tank? You want to start with Zim?
Let's start with Zim, and then we'll save the spicy for later because that might get me in trouble. So let's go with Zim first.
Okay. Zim will not get me in trouble because I will tell you, I'm cool. Like out of the names we heard, it's the one I want. I think Mike Zimmer is a very good defensive coach. He's proved it over and over again. He hadn't been out of the league for 8 years like Rex Ryan. He's been hanging out with Dion. Like, I think there's a lot to like about it. There's just going to be people that are worried that Mike Zimmer is mean to people. Like Mike Zimmer's a tough coach. I don't care. I like it. I think they did a good job, and they don't always do a good job, but I think the Cowboys did a good job. The end.
You know, you mentioned something that I think we can breeze over it, but I think there's so much more depth to it, right? When you're talking about bringing a guy into a system that under Mike McCarthy has been run a certain way, right? And there's so much more to, and surface level is, just plug and play, right? D coordinator comes in, plug them, we go play football. But there's so many more levels and layers to it. You bring in a guy and an established guy, and this is the gift and the curse of bringing in an established guy, because established guys who've been around the league for a while, they have a standard, they have a way of doing things, right? And so in that, does Zim get to bring guys in who are used to doing things the way that he used to doing them? I'm talking about other assistant coaches, right? I'm talking about your linebackers coach, your lineman coach, your DN coach, your DB coach, your safety coach. Do those guys?
He's not going to bring a DB coach. I can tell you that.
Al Harris will be able to be here. But
again, the Cowboys blocked that one. They said, we're keeping him, leaving him alone.
That's a perfect example. That's another call. So we know, and the Cowboys know, Al Harris has publicly said it, privately said it. We know that he wants to be in Washington with Dan Quinn, right? We know that. Are you comfortable in saying that on air, saying that you are confident that Al Harris wants to be with Dan Quinn?
I don't know. Well, so I would love to be able to talk to him off the record because, as you've said, like he is kind of on the record. Like I would follow Dan Quinn. Like I like to be with Dan Quinn, but he is also a McCarthy guy. So I don't know if he's like not happy to be with the Cowboys or if he would rather be there. And I think that's a tricky thing if you're the Cowboys and they're like, hey, we want to interview your DB coach to be our DB coach. And I have the right to say no. Like, I don't I don't want to stop people from getting a better job, which I believe technically in the NFL you can. I think it's just head coach, assistant coach. I think they could have blocked Witt, but
No,
you don't block people from moving up.
You can't block from moving up, right? You can.
I think technically you can. I think they don't.
No. You can't. You can block lateral moves. You can't block a guy going from a position coach to either a coordinator or head coach. You can't block that. If a guy's a linebacker coach or a DB coach or whatever coach, and he's being asked to come up and be offensive or defensive coordinator and or head coach, you can't block that. You can block anything lateral.
Right. I'm not going to fight you but I looked it up.
You're going to lose.
I'm not going to fight you, but I think I'm right because they changed it because people kept playing games with it and naming people the passing game coordinator and calling it a promotion. And they were like, that's fake. That's not real. You're a head coach or you're an assistant coach. I might be wrong, but I looked up NFL rules yesterday to try to see because people play games with that crap, but you're either right or teams are at least not dumbass enough to block people.
I'm going with heads.
Okay. You can have it. But either way, like you don't want to be a team that blocks people often, I wouldn't think, from doing what they want, because that's not good for your reputation around the league and people wanting to work for you. But at the same time, if I really like my coach and I don't want you to take him, I mean, every once in a while, I might do it.
Yeah, but
I might do, like, I know for a fact that once upon a time, and I am not going to give a lot of details. You can catch me not online and ask me about this, but I know for a fact once upon a time that the Cowboys will forever have a bad relationship with a certain assistant coach who was, well, maybe not the Cowboys. Maybe it will just be the head coach at the time, who the offensive coordinator at the time was really the offensive line coach because he wasn't calling the plays and he wanted to go be the offensive coordinator somewhere else. And they blocked him. And he told the head coach at the time, you are a bleeping C word that we don't say. So like a lot of times people don't like it. I don't know. Is like Al Harris bitter about that? Because it's not like he's not a McCarthy guy also. So I don't know. That's what I'll say. Yeah. I don't know.
But to finish my original statement with that is I'm not mad at the Zimmer hire. I'm not. I just think that there's more layers that people aren't discussing that it will take to make this thing work. Zim is a different type of coach than what DQ was. How does the other assistants handle that? Zim is a different kind of coach than DQ was. How will the players handle that? Because now you may get called to the carpet in front of everybody, maybe even in the media. How are you going to handle that? Because you're not accustomed to that sort of player-coach relationship. And if people think that doesn't matter, then you're fooling yourself. You are fooling yourself in a way that you would not believe. And that can fracture a relationship. And now I'm confident in saying that we know that there's certain players on this football team that coaches really can't do anything to because the owner handles those type of things. And those players know that coaches really can't do nothing to me, that the owner handles those things. So now when I disagree with how you're playing me or where you're playing me or when you're playing me, what does that dynamic look like? So they have a short amount of time in saying that they've hired him in February. We're going to start here pretty soon, implementing a system. You know, I know Zim kind of runs some things similar to what DQ ran, but different in his own right. There's going to be adjustments to that. There's going to be new players in, new attitude, new adjustment, new practice styles, all these different things. You know, one coach may have said, I'll take care of my guys this way. Another coach may say, I would never do that. We're going to practice differently. You know, we long to act for this team to be a physical football team, right? To have that physicality in there. Well, Zim might look at things and how to be physical than Dan Quinn. So I'm not saying the hire isn't bad. I'm saying that there's more complexity in a hire like this at this point in time when all actuality, you had a good thing. Like there wasn't like, I know the last 6 games with Dan Quinn wasn't the best, but that doesn't negate the other 2 years and 12 games of Dan Quinn when he had the defense in the last 3 years that were top 10 defenses overall in the league. I get it. Playoffs is where it matters the most. I understand. Everyone's going to say yes, 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 yes. But I'm not mad at the hire. I just think it's just there's more layers to this whole complex ecosystem that is the Dallas Cowboys, and they have to figure it out fast.
Yeah, I would obviously grant you those things, and I think that your perspective is wonderful and valued. And I just go to Dan's gone, and you had to hire somebody out of the names I knew that you were interested in, that I can access how they've worked in their career. You hired the best candidate, at least on the surface, that Mike Zimmer's defense, not only does he get better results than the other guys that were candidates for this job, he gets them quicker. Cincinnati, by the end of his first year, they were getting towards being a good defense. By year 2, they were awesome. Minnesota, first year, by the end of the first year, they were getting towards good. Second year, they were good. Here, his starting point is at least pretty good. So I like given the options that you had, because honestly, offensively, I know enough about the league that I can tell you which assistants I want. Defensively, I can't really help you. Like, I don't have the young hot name that it's like, and here is why. So I'll take the head coaching experience guy. I'll take the guy that I can look at the track record and be like, oh, look at this. Mike Zimmer is also very good against the old Shanahan tree. Mike Zimmer's teams are very good against the pass. Mike Zimmer's teams get pretty good pretty quick. I like it. I like what they've done, and hopefully all of the extra stuff and how do you deal with these things. And I'll tell you what, I think that's a natural transition. So what I'm about to play you is audio of DeMarcus Lawrence on First Take on why the Cowboys aren't in this game. And I'm glad Mike Zimmer's here, because I think Mike Zimmer would, at the end of that, go, what did you just say? Here's Tank and Sharp and the people.
You mentioned how you wish your team was here. What happened and why your team isn't here?
All honesty, I think the main thing is we was burned out, man. Long season, team dominantly healthy throughout the season. The legs get tired, but also, you got to give hats off to Green Bay, man. They came out with a great game plan, rolling out towards Micah and then running away from me. I feel like, that's what they needed to, get their game started, and they jumped on us fast. And
what about adjustments?
Yeah, adjustments, man. Feel like we went in the locker room and, we came out, ready with our adjustments, but still didn't go the way that we planned it to go.
Okay.
Which part?
We were burnt out.
Yeah, I can't help you. Okay, hold on. So as the guy who loves Tank Lawrence, I'll go first and then you can be mean. The part that throws me off the most is just that if you're going to go do the Radio Row thing at the Super Bowl, which I've been a part of like 8 or 10 times, the guys who are there to be interviewed, they're doing car washes. And by car wash in media, what we mean is he's going from this spot to this spot to this spot to this spot to this spot. He's just going to run through, and Tank probably did. I don't know. He's a big enough name that he might have only done like 5 big shows, but the guests there have somebody that they're pushing a product for, that they're getting paid to be there. Yes. And so, but if you're going to be there, what question you're going to be asked by everyone, and if your answer was, we're tired, like, I can't believe that Tank Lawrence didn't have an answer ready for the easiest question that he was going to get from everyone, which is what happened. And it was, we're tired. Like, Mike Zimmer's going to look at it and be like, okay, so do some cardio this offseason. What are you talking about? Everyone's tired. Everyone played the same number of games. And the thing is like, Tank saying that, he's not saying it about Tank Lawrence, which is what makes it more confusing. Tank kicked their ass when they tried to run at him. Tank was very good all the way through. He was probably your most consistent football player on the entire team all year. He was wonderful. So even saying it, I'm like, it doesn't even apply to you. So what are we doing? So I don't understand the answer, because the words don't even apply to him. You can say you were worn out and you were tired. Early in that game, the only reason the Cowboys had a chance to get stops is because Tank Lawrence existed and slapped everybody who tried to block him in short yardage, because he's really good and he wasn't tired. So I don't even understand the answer. I don't even know.
I agree with you 1,000%. You know what you were going to Vegas for. You were going to push a product, and you knew that you were going to get asked this question. Your handlers, your PR people, whoever, should have had a prepared statement for you. And if not, simply go, I don't know. But when you get on there Stephen A. tells us every single week, the #1 rated show in the nation, sports talk radio and sports talk TV show in the nation, right?
For now, believe in the Cowboys will be soon.
Sure. We're on the way. We're on the rise.
We'll be number one.
Listen, I touch and agree with you. You knew what they were going to ask you. You knew. And I got some people, and I'm not going to say, I got guys, and I love David Hellman. You love David Hellman. We love David Hellman.
I don't even know where you're going, but you better be careful the way you talk about David Hellman.
But David is trying to say that Tank, who is a 10-year NFL vet, who has spent a decade in the Cowboys organization and who knows how to work through the media, that he was trying to say things to protect someone else. Well, if you were trying to put out one fire, horrible job. Because you damn near started another one. You damn sure started another one.
Well, and then you accidentally took shots at the coordinator too. I mean, but he's gone, so it doesn't matter.
But here's as a former player, here's what I know. 3 preseason games, which most of you don't play in. Yes? The NFL only allows teams to have a total of 14 padded practices for the year. I went to public high school and a public university. Shout out to my Tar Heels. Shout out to Julius Peppers, going to the Hall of Fame. But in an 18-week season, if I can only have 14 padded practice, that means that's less than 1 padded practice per week. You get Veteran Wednesdays, right? The Romo Wednesday. You're a part of that.
And he got some of them.
You got some of those. You did not play in a lot of fourth quarters earlier this year. There were probably 8 games where you did not play in the fourth quarter this year because either you blew teams out or you were being blown out. Okay? There's GPS tracking. So in addition to you getting your veteran day off, when the GPS says that you need rest, they give you rest.
And the Cowboys do that probably better than anyone. Like McCarthy's huge on that.
Huge. Fridays are walkthroughs. You literally walk through. You only practice an hour and a half, an hour 45 minutes tops, 2-3 days a week. And the final thing of it is, as someone who's been a part of the Dallas Cowboys organization, as a player, now as the media, I know for a fact, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you have unlimited resources. What do you need? Your mentals are not right? We got psychiatrists, therapists, whatever you need.
Psychedelics?
I don't know. I made that up.
I got some of those in the kitchen.
Physically, we got Kairos, we got cold tubs, we got cryo chambers, we got boots, we got hot tubs, we got massage therapists, we got acupuncturists, we have cuppings, we have some of the best training staffs in all of the land. You name it, we got it. We got pedicures, we got manicures, we got hypnotists, whatever it is that you need. You have spiritually, you're not doing well. You got pastors, rabbis. You can go to the mosque, whatever your religion is, they got you covered in the Cowboys organization. And anything under the sun that you can think of that you need to perform at your best in the game for the Cowboys, if they don't have it in that billion-dollar building at the Star, it is one phone call away. And you do not wait, you go to the front of the line. I remember I chipped my tooth one night, many, many years ago. I chipped my tooth right here, the front one. Right there, on a salad. I was on my fork. I bit down on the salad on the fork and chipped my tooth at 8 o'clock at night. I called the trainer and said, I got to get to the dentist. They came in and fixed my tooth at 9 o'clock at night. Okay? There is nothing that you do not have. So when you come out of your mouth, and I can only take a man for his word. And I love Tank, especially when you start talking about in third person. When Tank gonna do this and Tank gonna do that. I can only take a man by what he says. That's the school that I come from. So when you have a choice of words to say, and the choice of the words that you use, that we were burnt out. simple. Just say, and then there's 100 things you can say. Hey, give Green Bay credit. They just whooped us. No comment is an option. Hey, I can only speak for myself. I didn't do enough. I'll get better this offseason and do all I can to make sure that me and my teammates are ready to go if this situation presents itself. I mean, there's a plethora of things that you could have said. But I don't know if you're protecting a coach, a player, a scheme, or whatever, but that was dumb. That was dumb. And all you did was start another fire that your teammates now have to answer. Because the next time a microphone gets in the face of CD, Trayvon, Stephon Gilmore, Micah, you name it, whoever you want to name on the defense or offense, they're going to say, one of your senior veteran leaderships, your second most tenured player on your roster behind Tyron Smith said that you guys were burnt out. Do you agree? Do you not agree? If so, why? Now everybody has to answer that. Dak Prescott's going to have to answer that question at some point in time. So I just didn't understand that answer to the question when you knew and you had more than enough time. The plane ride from Vegas to Dallas, Dallas to Vegas, about 2.5 hours. You got time to write a statement. You pay people that are on your team, your PR people, your handlers, to give you a prepared statement. You cannot say that. And that in lies, and I'm not calling Tank out, but that's an excuse that's unexcusable. It's an excuse that is unexcusable, and that's what you put on First Take, on a national show.
And Micah was watching because Micah responds to them on the internet all the time.
It's
Maybe
incredible.
Micah was tired.
It's incredible. You said it, not me. I'm off. You said it, not me. That's Jeff Cavanaugh. Jeff Lamar.
Isn't it interesting that the dude who has kind of petered towards the end of seasons, which makes sense as he's converting to playing the edge against really big guys all the time. It's interesting that he's like, man, I saw the tape and I was amazing. And Tank's like, yeah, we were a little burnt out. And Tank played great. It's just the interesting juxtaposition. I also do love that he, scheme-wise, he's like, yeah, halftime we made some adjustments. And they kept on whooping us. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of accidentally firing shots at the coach. Like we didn't have an answer for that. Because that's when you're saying, yeah, they, once I kicked their ass when they thought they could run at me, they were like, oh yeah, we don't do that. So we're going to run the other way and we're going to roll at him. It's like what you were telling me is that the middle school coach would have been like, oh, okay, that's what they're going to do. They're going to run at Micah and they're going to roll to Tank so Micah can't get there. Cool. What are we going to do about it? And the answer was, we'll just see what happens, I guess. We'll just keep on cruising.
I'll say this. When it comes to scheme, I've been around enough coaches in my day, and I'm not saying that coaches aren't wrong. What I'm also saying is that coaches sometimes don't call things when they don't feel comfortable that it can be executed. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so you have a public enemy number one, but you're afraid to say his name. I like this. You must have gotten in trouble with the fan base. They must have got mad at you.
No, I'm just saying. You always hear coach talk about, I need to see it on film. I need to see it in practice. In order for me to call it, I need to feel comfortable that I've seen it enough that I know that you can run it. Or I have to just say, well, I'll go with this that I know that player or players can do. And I'll take my chances there, opposed to calling something that you probably aren't really good at doing because I saw you do it and not do that practice. And I don't trust your study habits and I don't trust the things that I'm just saying. I'm not saying that coaches aren't wrong. No. I'm not saying coaches aren't wrong. All I'm saying is I know a lot of times coaches won't call things in games despite there might be a deficiency in certain areas if they don't believe the player that they have on the field can actually execute what you're asking them to run. Because you kind of lose if a player doesn't know what to do on a certain thing. So you're already losing in that area. So you might as well leave them where they're at and hopefully that they can just make a play with the things that they know how to do. I'm just saying.
I think that it's great because, honestly, I need to add to my audio bank the It's Been a While song because it's been a while since I've seen Hater Jesse. It's good to see you. It's good to have you back. It's great. I missed you. That's outstanding. They dropped the charges on the Dallas Zoo suspect. Oh, anyway, sorry, something just popped up on my screen. But anyway, thanks to Bet Online for bringing you this presentation. Leave in the comments, what do you think Jesse means sometimes when he says stuff?
And screw you, Hall of Fame. Darren Woodson should be in the NFL. Screw you, you voters. You want to talk about haters? You voters, you're haters. You are haters. You are haters. You are haters. I like Patrick Willis. I think Patrick Willis is a fantastic player. No way Patrick Willis has the credentials to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame before Darren Woodson does. Sorry. I'm sorry.
They don't know how to measure everything is the problem. They just don't know how to measure stuff, and so they don't know how to vote because they don't realize that Darren Woodson is the one that was like, yeah, sure, I'm a safety, but bet I can lock up your wide receiver and man coverage too. He changed the sport.
Oh, yeah. I can play corner. I'll play safety. I'll play nickel. I'll play down in the box. What do you want me to do? And I'm going to win 3 rings. We got to change like the age. Like you can only be a voter for a certain amount of time.
God, he's going after old people now.
Because these old farts have agendas, and they're trying to get guys in. Don't do this to Darren Woodson. Like it's no way some of the guys that you guys are putting in here that come on, man. Like it's shame on you, Hall of Fame voters. You had an opportunity every year. You had an opportunity to do something right. You had an opportunity to do something right. And you didn't. You decided to be old fart crusties, and Darren Woodson should be in the Hall of Fame. That's
poor crusties. Hey Jesse, we gotta go. I have to do my show at Choctaw today. I have to drive to Oklahoma, man. I gotta go. Oh, and dog is doing the hacking stuff. Oh my goodness, what a day! He's what?
That the reverse sneeze thing he was doing. Yeah, my dog was doing that this morning. He had ate food too fast and it was like caught up in the nostril. I don't know. I thought it was
she's 15. At some point, she's going to do that, and then it's just going to stop. Why would you bring that up? Hey, for the diehard badasses that we love the most, I want you to leave a comment on the video now of a timestamp of how far in it is, just to prove that you made it this far. That's what I want, and your favorite dessert. That also. Thank you, Jesse. I love you, buddy.
All right, man.
You guys remember. You have no idea what anyone's going through, so be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy.
Pick heads and eliminate the contingencies.